Welcome back to the Winner Circle, everybody. I'm here with Alexey from 5D Planner. They are the latest AI Excellence Award winner, and they're building some awesome software for us to all use in our homes as we go to, redesign, refinish, refurbish our house. This is a really cool product. If you haven't checked it out, please do. Alexey, welcome to the Winner Circle, and congratulations on the award.
Hi there. Thanks for award. Thanks for having me here. So I'm all yours.
So before we get started on everything, tell us a little bit about Planner 5D.
Uh, Shortly, Planner 5D is an app which allows anyone, professionals or homeowners, to visualize and visualize home improvement ideas, renovation ideas, remodeling, designing, and also digitalizing of your home and creation of so-called digital twin of the home. And the home scanner specifically, it's part of Planner 5D. So this is a feature which allows users to scan their physical spaces, rooms or homes, doesn't matter, with a phone camera, and turn it into editable 3D home plans.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. You've turned this into, a consumer grade technology that really, kind of puts that CAD drawing, that schematic of your house kind of in a 3D plan. And then you can go and build off of it, change it around, put a couch in here, put a wall in there, a window in there. And it's really flexible to that let you really kind of revisualize your space. Walk us back to the beginning, though. What was the problem with the room design that you just couldn't stop thinking about?
The thing was that in the very beginning, like almost 15 years ago, I was the homeowner who wanted to renovate the apartment which I just bought. So that's how it started. So I was thinking with my wife about renovation, about designing, where we should place this, that. We had some kind of limited budget, so it was all on us. So that's how I started to think about how can I, let's say, digitalize my, all these thoughts, everything, to share it with contractors, builders, family. And at those time I was a web designer, and I was working on products and product designing. So I was automatically searching for something what existing already, what I can use for such, but unfortunately or fortunately, I didn't find anything what was fitting my needs, fitting my taste or sense, So I decided to do it by myself, and I was not the only one. We were working with my colleague who had similar problem. He was building his house, his country house. So we were talking about it all together. And as we both were like IT guys, engineers, and designers, so we decided to do it by ourselves, just for having our own solution for us, for our family, friends. But it finally turned out that more than 100 million people all over the world use this today. So this is what I was thinking of the last 15 years about room spatials, designing, remodeling, and so on.
I think we've all been there. You want to redo your
Absolutely.
house, and you get out either scratch paper and try to measure stuff out, and it's always inaccurate. And then how big is a queen bed, and you got to look that up. It's a real pain in the neck. You come from as you mentioned, a web design, kind of that user interface, user experience design background, not from AI or computer vision. How did that shape the way you approach building Home Scanner?
But I started when it was like 15 years ago. There was no any even words about AI. But today, when everyone using AI and speak about it, so the thing is that AI for us is something what make us as a company, as a product builders, to perform better, faster, and more productive. So we build Home Scanner as something what can, let's say, automatize a lot of work which people do manually. So I don't know. So this is not about me personally, right? So it's how the world like going forward. Where are we in this world? Where are our users in this world? How can we help? So what the problem which we trying to solve today in terms of home scanner. We just wanted to make people, instead of manually measurements, recreating the rooms from layouts, just give people the thing that they always keep in hand, their phone, and do quite similar and used to movements with the camera, and everything else would be on our side. And AI just makes us to make it faster, smarter, more accurate than it could be done.
Now, you guys are in a kind of a crowded space. There's lots of people that, kind of are building different types of products that kind of do what you're doing. Why do you think, anybody, nobody had solved this before? What made it technically harder than it looks?
Actually, we don't see that someone ever tried to do that. So there are a lot of small tools which allows you to take measurements, but there are no one who can do what we do, because we do like a 3D editable home plan, which you can use for lots of purposes. I would say that the biggest benefit is that we already, as I've said, we're existing for 15 years. We have more than 100 million users. We know all the pains of users. We know what they want, what they need, how they solve their problems, what they're facing with every day doing lots of things. Because, as I've said, it's not only renovation, it's designing small things, it's home maintaining. So what we want to do is not only solve one task, which is only one in the chain of problems, in the chain of whole cycle of renovation, realization of this renovation, So we want to take care of something what we can call like the most expensive asset of all the people.
So I know I've seen a lot of different types of solutions out there like this that kind of don't solve the problem like you're talking about. But just from a measurement standpoint, there are all sorts of really kind of hardware-based solutions using LiDAR and radar and all sorts of other things that look super costly. How did you go about solving this more with software?
First of all, it's like, the time flies. So what the solutions which were existing yesterday, today, absolutely another story. Again, AI makes you move faster, do a lot of things which yesterday were requiring lots of technologies, lots of people, lots of, brain working. So today we can do, even without LiDAR, very accurate measurements with the computer vision, with the processing it on our servers. So now you just need to, show us your room, and you will get, the recognized room with the same objects, with the same colors, textures, flooring, everything, and the most important thing, with the same measurements. And so that's it. So this is something what we know how to do. First of all, we do it for 15 years. We tried so many things. We have so many solutions. We changed so many approaches. So we know what to do. And again, it's something what worked with Home Scanner is that we found a needed audience and needed problem, because there are like hundreds of scenarios who can use it. Homeowners, professionals, interior designers, real estate agents, builders, contractors, a lot of people. And somehow we found out that, for example, for pro users, people who are making money with Planner 5D, I mean, so for them, this is just a working tool. It's not something what they tried solve their home renovation or something and forget about it. This is people who are every day working with different clients, with different estate, with different agencies, contractors, and so on. So they need to get the result fast and accurate. And Home Scanner gave them this result. And so everyone, it's like win-win situation.
When you first tested Home Scanner with real users and real rooms, what did you observe and what surprised you?
It's hard to tell, because we expected a lot of things, and all of them actually were there. I would not say that were surprised, but we were very happy and glad that the solution we finally found was working exactly how it was expected from the other side. Because we experimenting with solutions and technologies a lot. We do a lot of things. Some of them people just don't see because they it's not matching for their needs. We can think that they need it, but finally they don't need it. But this is the case when it's really we got the point which was really painful for people, and we solved it. For example, real estate guys, they visiting lots of properties. They need to get lots of information from in a short time, send it to their clients, work with a lot of people. So what they do, they come with the iPhone, put on the camera, like couple of minutes, and they can get digital twin of the property they want to sell or rent, and it contains of lots of information. So I would say that this is kind of a BIM for not so much advanced people. So for those who are not from the the depths of the industry, for people who are somewhere around, but they were missing this information, and now they can get it without being a super professional, in a very specific areas.
Well, it's interesting because you're like you said, the app really crosses, between that professional and consumer level. When you built the product,
Yeah.
who did you really think about when you were building it? Were you, the contractor, that, that kind of professional, or a consumer?
We found out a lot of requests, similar requests, which were so we see. I would say like that. We have a lot of users, right? A lot of different group of users. They're really different. They're very different, and especially if we are talking about pro users, so those people who are like builders, contractors, real estate designers, all of them using such tools as Planner 5D in a very, very individual. For example, there are builders who before, so for whom creation of this digital twin is kind of a pre-sale for their clients. They come into a property, do like this kind of a digital twin of the house, let's say, with the several options of designing and showing clients to say, I can do this, this, and that. What would you prefer? And for clients, it's nice to have visualizations right there. They can be shared, so they can try to open not only watch the renders, they can make it live. They can try to move, couch or sofa, table, and say, okay, I like this way, but let's customize it a little bit, right? So this one of the scenarios. Other guys are real estate guys, as I've said. So there were a lot of scenarios, and we were watching all of them. But finally, for us, I think most matching area professional users, because again, they working with this tool every day. This is something what they can repeat, and they get needed information, they get needed visualization, they can share, they can make changes. It's editable, what's very, very important from our side. This is, by the way, get back to the question why any other let's say competitors can do that. Because we've built a 3D home editor which can be used by anyone, and then we started to create verticals which can be filled with different tools based on these editable 3D home plans. In other cases, when companies starting from measurements or rendering a static image, they don't have this magic feeling, so they can't give this magic feeling to their users that users can participate. They cannot change anything. They can only see the image and say, okay, but I want a little bit in a different way. How can I do that? So, and they go into another circle, another round of negotiations with the contractors, and the whole round before from intention to decision making or to the result is quite long. So this distance is too long. In our case, we're trying to shorten this distance and to solve as problems of the homeowners as problems of professionals, because it's all becoming like a huge circle where everyone are connected to each other.
Yeah, I love that co-creation model where the professional, the designer, and the consumer can all work together on, the end result. The interesting thing to me though is, when you were designing this product, you're out there with a camera and you're taking pictures, you're scanning the rooms, you're taking video using that camera. How did you actually know that the scan was good enough to actually use for renovation planning? I mean, like, how did you know it was accurate enough?
Well, there are, let's say, several ways how to do that, and we actually use all of it. So first of all, this is again AI. This is the, like, technology that's simplifying, which makes sure that these dimensions are okay. Then we have like a, let's say, human in the loop, which can control and see, okay, is this okay or not okay. Then it's not like it's not a dead end. If once user receive the result, they have like a direct feedback channel with us. We can, first of all, user can make these corrections. If it's minor corrections, let's say it's dimension with a minor, you know, uh, in need of minor correction, so they can do it by themselves, because this is like user-friendly 3D home editor, which looks like Sims, just a game where you can just by tapping and pulling change everything. But they can also say, hey guys, this is like okay, but we need corrections. It didn't work as it is. We can ask for detalization, like, oh, cool, give us more pictures or give us additional video. So we are in a very close contact with our users, with customers. So also there are like kind of feedback systems, so they can not only say like, guys, please help us. They can evaluate the result. There is some kind of a CSI system where you can vote, is it like 5 stars, 3 stars, or 1 star. We see this like balance, and we always improving what's going on. We watch all the results. In the very beginning, when we just started, there were few scans, and each scan was like uh, zoomed in by our whole team who wanted to get the perfect result. Now it's like around 5,000 scans per month, so we cannot do it by ourselves. But at this point, the quality is quite stable. We see that everything is fine. We have very good this so-called evaluation, inner evaluation by our users. We are in touch with users. So in few words, that's how we make sure that everything gonna be fine.
Now I'm in the middle of the renovation. We had some flooding damage in on a first floor, and they had to rip everything out. And the first thing I saw the guys do is they did come in with a phone and they put it against every wall, and they are clearly measuring the room, and it came out with basically a drawing and a schematic that somebody didn't have to hand draw. You guys take it way beyond this. You handle very messy real world conditions with furniture and bad lighting and unusual room shapes. It must have been a nightmare to get that right. How do you solve for consistency across millions of different phones and millions of different environments?
That's how AI works. So at the very beginning, we were limited by devices which have LiDARs. So without LiDAR, in the first stages, we couldn't work anyhow. But today, no LiDAR, doesn't matter. So our AI do it very, very accurate. So it's that's actually the benefit of ours, our advantage, because we have a huge AI department who improving all our AI features every day. We training, we have a huge base of so imagine 120 million users. It is or even more. I think 130 million users who are exist today, and we have a huge data set of floor plans, designs, lots of variations. So this is how we can train our AI. So that's the biggest advantage and how we can do that.
Now, I know a lot of people and a lot of companies are looking back, in time and taking their data from years and years and applying it to the AI to train their own AI. Is that what you've done? Have you taken that years of experience and scans to kind of train the AI to get rid of all the clutter?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Correct. This is the most valuable thing we have, our users and the content which they create, because this is like unmeasurable experience which you can collect only through years. So this is what we have today.
Yeah. Now you've described the tool as giving us a digital twin of our house, and it's kind of that persistent memory of your home. I think you described it as that. What do you mean by that, and where does that kind of go from there?
So this so-called digital twin. So what does it mean? It's I would say that we can give with the technologies, with AI, with computers, with phones, with everything, we can give much more value than it was before without using, phones or such systems as Planner 5D. If you have your home, you have not only to, you know, uh, make renovation or small changes or buy new furniture. You have to maintain it day to day. You have a lot of devices there. You have a lot of, things which you need to support. Household appliances, with heating systems, ventilation, heating floors, lot of things. You have insurance, mortgage, thousands of paper documentation, thousands of digital documentation, lot of things which you have to, to have somehow sorted. And this is what we try to solve. Not only renovation tasks. We want to be kind of, a home screen of your home. So something, home screen of, again, of the most valuable asset of your life. So this is the place where you live, where your kids live, where your family live, where your friends come in, what finally can sell, what have a valuation. So this is something what you need to support. You want to have, you want to care of it, and it's quite hard. It's complicated. So, and digital twin is something what contain of all these thousands of information about your home, about each, lamp, about each SKU of every furniture, object, device, appliance, everything. And having AI, for example, solving it for you, because you don't need to, you know, searching for, terms of insurance or contact of the contractor who was, working with your tiles like 10 years ago, the SKU or the price of, something. You just upload everything what you have in Planner 5D, and you're gonna get it in one, one question with one answer from our AI. So
Yeah,
this is what we're talking about when you're talking about digital twins. So something
yeah,
what you have in a miniature.
makes total sense. It's kind of your filing cabinet for your home. You might as well have it all together. This home scanner is kind of the signal of a broader shift, though, of AI doing spatial reconstruction on consumer hardware. It's really interesting. Do you see any implications for that industry? For industries beyond home design?
That's of course, but I don't know. So this is what do you mean? What do you mean by home design? So this is like only the limitation of the home design, but this could
No. I
be
mean,
like a.
you're doing this whole kind of spatial reconstruction. You're taking the physical objects and putting them into this digital twin, and you're doing it on this consumer grade hardware, right? Everybody's got a phone. It seems like and I imagine your brain goes crazy with this stuff of other applications where this that spatial reconstruction could help other people. The first thing I think of, because I was in the business, is networking. Right, your home Wi-Fi, for example. You get dead spots here and dead spots there. With a tool like yours and understanding, kind of like you're saying, you take the SKUs of your routers and your devices, and you know who's in the house, and what's in the house. You could really start to plan this stuff out better, just from a wireless frequency perspective. I know there are tools like that, but they don't map your home, they don't map devices. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm thinking is, you've got this massive tool, and you've applied it to this home reconstruction, home design kind of field. But I feel like there are other areas where this might be useful.
But I would say that the whole, I like it, and I believe in the idea that like renovation is just the first, then home design is just the first step, the first stage of your life with the home. So, and Planner 5D, I believe that this is kind of like a second, or like, I don't know, say another stage of smart home, so-called, right? Which is not only about, that you can turn off the light with your phone or open the gates. It's something what can analyze the behavior inside the house, outside the house. It knows everything. And I believe that finally will come up that uh, our main, that the main relationship is not between Planner 5D and users, like the end users. It's gonna be like relationship between Planner 5D and houses, because people, they live in the houses, then they leave the house, they can sell it, they can rent it, they can whatever, but the whole information, the whole house is still there, and the new homeowners, they shouldn't, again collect this information, again do all this digital twin. So digital twin will be like a storage of all this legacy to understand what was there like 5 years ago, what was there 20 years ago, what is inside, the ground of what is under this house, what could be, so to know the history, to make decisions what you can do next, what is dangerous, what is not, what is safe, what is not. So it's, I think that's a huge uh, a huge room, for implementation and applying and, usage of this idea.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that kind of where the home scanner and the home planner kind of travels with the house. It doesn't travel with the consumer. It's something you pass on.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you were talking about other systems and other hardware in the house. Are you guys integrating with all the different systems of the house with the HVAC now that they're all Wi-Fi enabled and have APIs? Are you integrating with the smart home and the TVs and the lights and the HVAC and all of that stuff as well?
We're experimenting with it. It's not in release. It's not yet, released. For now, we are mostly like a platform of information which you can quickly get if you connect Planner 5D with your home routine. But what you are talking about, this is a huge question, because like 3 years ago, I would say, yes, we need somehow to integrate, we need these APIs, we need everything. But today, when you can ask, ChatGPT or something about your device, and you don't need to integrate it, so it already knows everything about it. You don't need to know even the model, it can recognize it. So this is how AI works today, and I think we need much less integrations, much less, hardware connections between us. But finally, yes, it's gonna be, like a heart of the home which will be connected. But the way how it's gonna be connected, the way how it's gonna, communicate with the devices, with appliances, that's something what we still working on and trying to discover and research. Because for now, one of the most problematic things is knowledge of your house. You don't know what is there, especially if it's not the new house. If you bought the house which was built like in the very beginning of 20th century, so a lot of things you need to know, since you need to redo a lot of things we want to upgrade, and keep this knowledge, keep updated. So this is what we want to do. Another thing is, we know, again, with the AI, with our expertise, how to increase the valuation of the house. For example, today, only by address, we can already know and recommend changes and repairs, which can, compare your house with houses in the neighborhood, and say, like, look, your house is not, the most expensive, but we can increase. For example, if you increase the value, if you, let's say, change the pipes, or if you build something additional because your neighbors did it and it works. So you can see here, you need this and that things to do that. This is contractor, this is how to get the permission for development, this is this thing, this that. So this is what we want to do as well, and actually we already do it. So this is all about your living with the house and caring of the house, and something what you cannot, place in your head, because there are a lot of things what you need to think every day. This is what we want to care of, and let you think about something else.
Yeah. You started out with this with the home planner and this kind of 3D environment, and then you went into the scanner. What's the one thing you've learned about building AI products that you wish more founders and operators understood?
I would say that, I don't know, that the things that the whole approach of people today is very different from approach how we as people, as users, were working and expecting from apps, even a year ago. So I think that today this distance between, again, intention or inspiration is became much shorter. If before you was thinking that if you wanted, to do something with your house, let's say, you try to visualize it in your head, and you got these apps who like us who can help you with visualizing. Uh, but it anyway, it will taking some time. Today, when you can, you know, get uh, immediate answer from ChatGPT or from anywhere else with pictures, with recommendations, with everything, and people starting to think that that's the way how it should works everything. So this immediate result, uh, understanding of the context which surrounding you, and the app which understands you from a couple of words. So if before people were working with the same AI, let's say, like you know inspiration, it was kind of inspiration or something, so you could generate the pictures or something, but now it gives you more and more valuable and helpful suggestions. It can understand your space, it can measure something, it give you like virtual asset with which you can work. So this is how the world changing and the approach of usage changing. This is what we are looking at and trying to be scalable, be flexible, and keep update expectations of our users, and be on the same page with them.
Well, it's quite amazing. I mean, given where we are with generative AI and how far we have to go, it's going to be amazing to watch you guys build this product out more and meet more of those customer needs as they evolve. So, congratulations again and really outstanding work. And it's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you. Sure.